Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic, Known Classics. This is episode number 2138 and Doubleshot 2032. I got two DC trades. One comic issues that came out roughly about last year. The other one was a book came out back in the 80s by Frank Miller. I'll be discussing which one it is soon. First up we have is Superman Action Comics, Volume 3, Warworld Revolution. Yeah, these issues here are the finale for the Warworld Saga, which have been going on, I believe, since issue 1000. I don't think it was 1033, was it? It was basically when the Rare took over the book. Yeah, that's how long this saga's went on for. Yeah, I believe this is the finale for the one. This actually on this book is issue 1029. This book here, this is the end of this saga. Yep, this is the end. Now you might be curious though, despite the fact that this saga has ended, is Philip Kennedy Johnson still the writer of this book? As the most recent issue of Action Comics, which is 1052, he still is. Yep, he still is the writer. As of a month ago, I have not heard anything if he's going to be replaced. But this book only collects the issues 1043 to 1046. Pretty much in the way the four issues that come after that is basically all about Kal-El returns. And I don't know if this is... I'm sure it's probably collecting a trade. But I don't know when in the world this is going to release in trade. Let me see if there's a trade going to be announced for it. Okay, here we go. So apparently the Kal-El Returns trade, which collects the remainder of this book prior to the stuff that's going recently, we have to wait till September. Yes, we have to wait 6 months for it. Whatever. So, basically in this story arc here, we basically are wrapping up Warworld where Superman is basically got his allies to basically just end the reign of terror that is, a Mongol, and take the remaining Kryptonians that are on Warworld back to Earth. There also was a backup feature here called Waldrock Clark. Because here was the strange thing with this period of time this book was coming out, because there was no Superman title. There was no title called just simply Superman. And aside from this book and Justice League, there was technically one book published this period of time, and that was the critically acclaimed Batman Superman World's Finest. But present day stuff, this was the only thing he was featured in, solo wise. Yep. Yep. The only thing solo wise he's featured in. So he's got allies, and the whole War Without Clark thing. Basically, you have a person sent by Amanda Waller. Apparently, maybe from Earth 3, because I remember she was sent to Earth 3 in early 2022. So, sends this guy called the Conduit to go retrieve this piece, New Genesis, which is basically, he has to fight the Superman family, which is comprised of Supergirl, John Kent's Superman, Steel, the Chinese Superman King Kong. Basically, in a way, this backup feature is kind of a prelude to what we're going to see for this book going forward, starting with issue 1051. Basically, it's a prelude to which I think is really good. It also collects Warworld Apocalypse, which is basically the finale for this entire saga. Initially, at first, I was not really keen on the storyline, but this storyline practically, in a way, for some people, it saved this series because a lot of people were not fans of Bendis' run on Superman. I thought it was pretty decent for what it was. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact they brought in John Romita Jr. as the artist. Yeah, and the fact that half the time, basically, you have a book where, oh, we're going to set up a crossover, basically, Event Live, which I actually enjoyed that one. And then it's a mini-series that was delayed. But this book had good story structure here. And can you believe this book, like I said, 1029, that's where it started with. And we ended with 1046. Which, this is quite something to have a long-running story like this for Action Comics. Where Superman is on one planet, and he's here with the Authority. And here's the strange thing about the Authority. They don't really appear much after this. Well, how should I describe this? The version of the Authority that Superman been working with since the miniseries. Now, is the Authority still active? Yes. Yes, it is. They first appeared in Superman and the Authority #2. That's what they were named. But he was assembling them in issue 1. So, the last time they technically appeared, well, there is also a Batman Superman Authority one-shot, which is done by Phil Kevin Johnson. Surprisingly, this one-shot is not in any trades. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. For some reason, it's not in the Batman Superman one. It's not in the Authority. No, it isn't. I'm not really sure why. It's just, it is. Yes, for some reason, this is not in trade. Like, it's not Superman Authority. And I don't think it, as far as I can tell, it's not collected in the previous World War Saga book. Let's see. The first one. Nope. Not there. The Arena, which is one that came before this one. Not that I can think of. Well, it's not there. Nope, it was not collected even the previous song that came before this one. So, yeah, there actually is a part of this story arc that kind of, in a way, is not in trade. Yeah, and that's this Batman / Superman The Authority special. Yeah, it's not in trade for some reason. I would have thought it would have, but it isn't. Yeah, so, yeah, it gets wrapped up here. This definitely was a really good storyline here. I'm going to give this book here a 9.5 out of 10. Final thoughts on the Warworld Saga. A saga that went on for over a year. This is probably for Superman his longest running story arc that I can think of that is done for him. Probably the first time in years. And it was really good. Now, you might think of the cover, like, where is his Superman costume? Well, it kind of got wrecked because he went to Warworld. Also, in this book, you can tell by looking at him, he's also got gray in his hair. Yeah, that's due to poisoning, but that gets fixed by the time the story gets wrapped up. Alright, next up is something that this book in particular was the loose inspiration for Teen Ninja Turtles. We have Frank Miller's Ronin. Yes, the very mini-series that was the first book that he worked on when he came to DC Comics. According to Rob Liefeld, this is the first book he worked on. Then he worked on Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One. Now, pretty much the story for this one is that we have this samurai who gets, his master gets killed, and then he's sent to the future. A lot of future stuff in here. It's definitely a really interesting miniseries. It's only 6 issues. And basically, you could say this book was sort of in a way has some loose ideas that Frank Miller were used again for 300 and Sin City. It's a style he used basically from this point forward. The way he was wrestling Superman. Batman. It's a pretty good miniseries. I do think that. Now, by the way, this miniseries was released in 1983. Yes. 1983. And these issues are quite long. I have heard that this one, along with the Wolverine miniseries from Marvel, which was just prior to this one, was inspired by a TV show. I have heard the name before. It's called Shogun. Shogun was, when I read about it, it was a series where you have a white guy goes to Japan and he becomes the first non-Japanese shogun during the feudal era. That's kind of what the story is for that one. And you could say that you use loose inspiration for this miniseries here. It's pretty good. I'm on way fair. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I gotta say it's better than Dark Knight Rises again. But with this particularly here, I have reviewed almost every single book that Frank Miller has ever done for DC Comics. You might be asking, what else is left? Well, besides from this one, before that, aside from this book, whatever I reviewed, I have reviewed this stuff that he released in comics. Dark Knight Returns, Dark Knight Rises Again, Dark Knight 3, Master Race, Dark Knight Golden Child, Batman Year One. This book in particular, the only 2 books left to go to cover. Bless you! To review anyways, for Frank Miller from DC Comics, is just 2 books. And that is All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder. And the other one is Superman Year One, which I've heard is his most recent comic book he ever worked on, ever. It was his first comic he did for DC Comics, aside from Dark Knight 3 Master Race. Yes. Because I remember correctly that aside from Also Everybody Wonder, there's that one there. I just Ronin. So it's roughly just 2 miniseries left. No, seriously, it's just 2 miniseries left. Oh yeah, I have reviewed Batman/Spawn. It was Batman/Spawn, that one shot he did with Tom McFarlane. Dark Returns Golden Child. That came out back in December 2019. So roughly like a little over 3 years ago. But you might be thinking, was that his most recent book? Or was it Superman Year One? If you're really curious of what is his most recent book he released, it was probably from DC Comics. Oh, I almost forgot. Last week, I think I've covered this one already. think I did cover this book in excuse me. I think this book may have been collected in Dark Knight 3: The Master Race. I'm thinking it was. I know I've read it. I know pretty much with Batman comics, pretty much almost everything for him. Oh, there is also some other books he worked on I haven't really covered yet. Uh, there is some issues of Weird War Tales, Unknown Soldier. Let's see if I can find it. I think I may have reviewed, but I reviewed pretty much almost every single series working these comics at this point in time. Yep, almost, except for two. All right. So yeah, that's it. Particular review. So tomorrow, lots of Super Sentai reviews, and maybe Comic Corner too. Okay, next video. Bye.